Hello and welcome to my first video on my investment portfolio. I'm currently 20 years old, working, and yeah, so I'll start diving into how I divided up my investments. I've been doing this investment strategy through the last year, a little bit more, maybe a year and a month. I'm going to be making constant updates on how my portfolio is doing, hopefully monthly updates. And yeah, so let's dive right into it. First, here in this application, which is Dividend Data, I got it from the YouTuber Dividend Data. Great for looking into new stocks and looking at how your portfolio has changed over time. So, initially, I invested into Broadcom around $1,700. Now it's worth 2,400. I've invested 1,700 into Costco. Now it's worth 1,900. I've invested 1,500 into JP Morgan and it's valued at 1,800. I've invested 1,600 into Visa. It's valued at 1,600. 1,470 into Microsoft and it's valued at 1,600. 1,200 into Moody's and it's valued at 1,500. 1,400 into Disney and it's valued at 1,200, and 1,000 into AMD and it's valued at 800. So currently my only two losers are Disney and AMD. What I've wanted to, so AMD is currently a new position that I opened probably 3 months ago, and I've been slowly dollar cost averaging into it. It's currently at a low this year, so I'm going to be investing more into it soon. Then my biggest winner is currently Broadcom, which recently had a 10-to-1 split. So it used to be 1.4 shares and now it's at 14 shares, almost 15. I've wanted to get that number up to 15. Then Costco, I have 2 shares. JP Morgan, almost 9. Visa, 6 shares. Microsoft, 3 shares. Moody's, 3 shares. Disney, 13, almost 14. And AMD, almost 6. Basically, a rundown of each of my stocks. AMD is a graphics card manufacturer, processor manufacturer, and I'm hoping the reason why I've opened this position is, as most of you know, Nvidia has had a huge increase in value in the last 2 years. So I'm hoping that, and I've read recently that Nvidia or AMD is making leaps towards AI processors. So I've been opening that position. Then Disney was at an all-time low a couple months ago. So I'm currently, and it is at an all-time low right now. I still have faith that Disney's going to go up. Then Moody's is a credit score rating company. So if you're a large organization who needs a credit score to get a loan, you use Moody's. Large corporations use Moody's. It's more or less has some of the same structure as S&P. Then Microsoft, software company. Microsoft, a software company. Then Visa is a credit score, not credit score, not credit card company, but it's a credit card holder. So if you have a bank's card, they use Visa to make transactions and they make money off of the fees that they charge on credit cards. JP Morgan, biggest bank, consumer bank that you can open an account in. Then Costco is a wholesale corporation which basically has supermarkets. And then Broadcom is a chip manufacturer that makes chips for cell phones and is getting largely into AI recently, which is why it has such a big increase over the last year. And yeah, so in my watch list, I'm going to start looking at AMD. So I would really like to start investing more into AMD. But as you can see, over the last 6 months, it's been on a downtrend. For the last 6 months, it hasn't made much money. It was up a couple months ago, but then it just went down. Year to date, it is up very slightly. Then over the last year, it's slightly up, almost 30%. So yeah, This is a company that I'm looking into and would like to start investing in. My only company that I've invested in that has no dividend yield and no dividend payments. So it's kind of weird for me because I like making dividend payments. Then my biggest dividend paying my biggest dividend paying is currently JP Morgan. Typically pays around $40 annually. Then Broadcom paying 30, Visa paying 13, Disney paying 12, Microsoft paying 11, Moody's paying 11, Costco paying 10, and as I said previously, AMD paying 0. So what has happened with Disney when I looked at their key financials recently is for the first time in a couple of years their streaming service has been profitable. Their overall profit margins previously were not as expected. So Disney's also thinking of increasing their Disney Plus service prices. They've incorporated new movies, new streaming platforms, new such as ESPN. So now they're hopefully going to be on an uptrend as they were previously in 2021, but clearly they went way down. And then Costco is my second newest investment besides AMD. It's just a very solid company. I like it. Very cheap. So typically higher net worth individuals shop at Costco over any other USA wholesale corporation. So they're, you know, it's my preferred pick. Visa. Visa, I just like the company, like their financials. Overall, pretty solid company. Microsoft has been diving into lots of AI, and I think it's going to be very profitable, making a lot of money for them. Hopefully, I'll keep dollar cost averaging into the Microsoft stock. JP Morgan has a higher dividend yield, so maybe their overall price might not go as high, but it's a very solid option, biggest bank, and I truly support JP Morgan. Moody's is a credit score and a financial company. They have subscription plans, and then they have their credit scores for larger corporations, which is also it's been on uptrend these last couple months. So yeah, hopefully it pays out. And then Broadcom, my biggest gainer because it's been so much into AI. Yeah, so over the last year, it's been doing pretty well. Started at 86 while it was at 800, and now it's at 164, and it did a 10-to-1 split in July. So yeah, that's my portfolio. I'll be making a portfolio on my cryptos next.